My dear, they smiled at you, but their silence was louder than any scream I have heard. They didn't need to speak. Your name vanished from every dinner table breath. I watched my mother pretend you never existed. That's when I knew you were unforgettable. My father asked if I still talk to you. I lied. When my family joined in, even my heartbeat sounded like betrayal. My sister used your name like a curse, but I remember it like a prayer. They laughed around me, but the room froze when you were mentioned. I saw their judgment. It wore your shadow. They hate what made me feel alive. How could they ever accept you? They welcomed everyone, except the one who held me when I shattered. Their silence became your grave. I buried your name in my throat. I told them we ended. They clapped in relief. My family just joined in, and suddenly I was the villain for loving you. They didn't have to say it. I saw their disgust dance in their glances. The moment you left, they celebrated like I was free. I've never felt more chained. They say you ruined me. I say you revealed me. My home grew colder when your name became forbidden. They never met the version of me that smiled because of you. They were kind to you once. Then they saw how much I needed you. When they joined in, I realized their love came with conditions. I watched them gossip your soul into pieces. They saw my heartbreak and blamed the mirror. You weren't their choice, but you were the only one who chose me fully. My mother prays I forget you. I pray she never finds out I can't. They said I was better off, but I'm not even off. I'm undone. They think they saved me from you, but no one saved me from their words. I hid your picture, not out of shame, but survival. My family just joined in on the war I thought they'd help me win. They tried to protect me from heartbreak, but they became it. They don't know what it costs to pretend I'm healing. I smiled for them. I cried for you. They say love is family, but family taught me fear. They erased you like a stain. But some memories bleed forever. You became the ghost they avoid mentioning. I saw love in your eyes. I saw fear in theirs. Their love had rules. Yours had reasons. I'm not sure what hurts more, the silence or the fake concern. I smiled when they mocked you. I screamed alone later. I defended you once. Now I defend myself, forever loving you. They watched me fall apart and said, "We warned you." Their version of protection looks a lot like prison. I knew it was over when my father said, "Be grateful it ended." I said your name, and the air left the room. They said, "Move on," like grief had an off switch. I kept our memories where their words couldn't reach. They gave me advice. You gave me peace. You were a sin in their eyes, a sanctuary in mine. I couldn't cry in front of them. They called that strength. Their judgment didn't kill us. My silence did. They think silence is healing, but silence is just a prettier name for suppression. Their kindness to me has always depended on your absence. They forgave me for loving you. That forgiveness felt like a slap. My family didn't just join in. They built the walls that keep me from you. They didn't break us, but they broke me after you. You were the truth. They only wanted illusion. They said, be happy. I heard, be fake. You were too real for a family that survives on pretending. They don't know you, but they hated how I smiled after loving you. My family joined in. Now my heart refuses to. They tried to wash you off me, but even my tears remember you. I lied to protect you. Then I lied to forget you. My sister said, we never liked them. I said, that's why I did. You were the only one who saw my shadows. They only wanted my mask. They threw a party when we ended. I didn't go. I walked away from you to stay part of them. I lost both. Their smiles became knives after your name was spoken. They looked at me like I failed. But I loved you fully. I smiled too soon after you left. They mistook that for healing. They judged the way I loved you. I never judged their emptiness. I still hear your name between their whispers. I broke for them, but I bled for you. They say I'm better now, but better has never felt this numb. They couldn't handle how deep I let you in. You became a sin because they couldn't understand sacred. My family judged the way I cried for you, but never why I cried. I gave up love for comfort. Now even comfort feels like a lie. They erased your name, but they can't erase the way my soul shakes. My father shook his head. My heart shook harder. You weren't wrong for me. You were just too raw for them. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. Their pride clashed with your tenderness. I stood in the wreckage. You weren't their dream, but you were my only peace. They joined in, and suddenly love felt like something to hide. Their acceptance of me ended where your name began. I felt lonelier around them than I ever did with you. They never saw the nights you stayed when I was breaking. My family clapped when we ended. I cried in the bathroom. Their faces smiled, their eyes screamed, forget them. They spoke of healing, but their words reopened wounds. I had to laugh at your pain to stay one of them. They judged you like they weren't the reason I needed you. They praised my peace. They never noticed the emptiness behind it. They didn't break us. They broke me into who they wanted. Your love was real. Their support was conditional. They said, let go. But letting go was never the problem. Surviving was. They called you a mistake. I still call you a memory. They liked me more broken than in love. My family joined in, and that's when I lost you for good. I don't mention you anymore, not because I'm over it, because they weaponized your name. Their joy over our end haunts me more than the ending. I've learned silence around them is safer than truth. I smiled while they mocked what we had. I've never felt more like a stranger in my own bloodline. They judged your darkness, forgetting I was born in theirs. They saved me from love and left me with fear. I never needed protection. I needed to be believed. I watched them protect each other. No one protected me from them. They cheered when I said I left you, but they never asked how I feel. I felt safer crying alone than smiling with them. Their love felt like surveillance. They didn't want what was best for me. They wanted what was easier for them. I pretended to heal because they celebrated my numbness. They pressured me empty over being full of you. Your name became taboo in rooms I once called home. I wanted to scream your name. I whispered it instead. I walked into that room and felt you being erased. They didn't just join in, they buried us alive. I smiled through their celebration, but my chest was thunder. I stopped defending you, not because you were wrong, but because I got tired of bleeding. You were my home. They were the eviction notice. They loved me most when I was pretending. Their advice sounded a lot like control. They turned my love story into a family secret. I didn't walk away. I was pushed. They said I was glowing. It was just the light from all I burned. Their love came with expiration dates. Yours didn't. I've had to choose between my family and my truth too many times. I laughed for their approval and cried for my freedom. They taught me how to love quietly, in fear. The real me scared them. You loved that version. They said you were too much. But I was starving before you. I swallowed every I miss you like it was poison. Their silence about you was louder than any goodbye. I stopped talking so they'd stop judging. You made me feel seen. They made me feel inspected. My grief didn't match their timeline, so they called it drama. You were my rebellion and my refuge. They saw me break and called it growth. They expected me to thank them for the loneliness. My heart mourned while their mouths celebrated. They called it freedom. I call it exile. I pretended not to care, just to make them proud. They applauded the version of me that denied you. I was forced to choose between peace and belonging. Their comfort came at the cost of my truth. I let them call it healing. Inside, I was still screaming. I smiled in family photos with heartbreak in my pocket. They said you changed me, but it was their rejection that did. They never saw the version of me that was whole. With you, I learned to laugh on cue, cry in silence. They sat around the table. I sat with ghosts. My family just joined in, and my soul stepped out. They held my hands, but not my heart. They couldn't accept what they didn't control. My lips said, I'm fine. My eyes betrayed me. They saw the cracks. You saw the light through them. They turned your love into my punishment. I buried the truth under their approval. They taught me love is earned. You showed me it's given. I miss the me I was when I had you. They don't mention you, but I still set a place for you in memory. My family just joined in, and that's when I stopped trusting my own voice.